So to jump into the physical activity aspect that
Yeah.
you mentioned, there's calories in what we consume, but then there's
Mm-hmm.
the calories out in terms of what we expend. And that's not just I'm in the gym expending calories on the rowing machine, but it's also how much are we walking? What are we doing day to day? Are we working out? What type of workouts are we doing? What intensity are we working out? There's a lot of things to unpack, but what can we do with our training to help, I guess, our cancer prevention? Not that that's really, someone's like, I'm working out to prevent cancer,
Yeah.
but, why not, if you're already training, have that in the back of your
Absolutely.
mind to kind of guide you where to go? So what can people, I guess, have in the back of their mind while they are putting time into exercise?
Yeah. We don't have a magic pill to prevent cancer. But Brock, if we did, exercise would be as close to that magic pill as we have. And there are so many reasons why. So I didn't mean to be flippant. Exercise does play a component of weight loss, but you're never going to, expend as many calories in exercise on a treadmill or something if you're eating a lot of high calorie, unhealthy foods. So part of it is helping to maintain normal weight. So that's important because that reduces inflammation, particularly chronic inflammation. It helps us maintain good blood sugar control, the issue of insulin release. And we think that insulin may ultimately play a role in cancer prevention as well. And, no one ever feels bad after they went to the gym. No one ever says, oh, I wish I didn't work out, or I wish I didn't go for a run. What do they feel? They feel great. King or queen of the hill. It's the release of these powerful endorphins. It's decreasing the amount of cortisol that we have, which we think also plays a role in chronic inflammation. And then we're also starting to see with exercise that it might actually impact what we call epigenetics, the way our cells divide, what we're talking about in terms of cancer. So it's really, as I said, as close to a magic pill as we have. But people have to do it right. And that's part of the issue. You have to have exertion. You have to have consistency. You mentioned walking. I like walking, but I'll tell you, if you just walk, an hour every other day, and it's this casual walk that you're talking to your spouse, which has value, or you're on your phone or something, but you're not putting exertion in, you're not going to reap those health benefits. So what I say to people, and you may agree or disagree, exercise smarter, not longer. Instead of walking for an hour, maybe you do power walking, where you walk at a certain pace for a minute, then you speed it up for a minute, then you go back down, and you have some element of that. That's what I want to see in terms of exercise, that you have some exertion and you do it consistently.
Yeah. I definitely agree with working out smarter as opposed to just longer or even harder, because there's a lot of people that will just go to the gym and just thrash themselves in things that, yes, sure, they are exerting, but when we look at things like building muscle, okay, we could probably do it smarter. I think it really does depend on the individual too, because for someone that doesn't do anything, an hour-long walk every other day is actually a step forward.
Yeah.
But for someone who's looking to further their fitness, then we need to start looking at, like anything, how can we do it smarter? How can we get a better return on investment? And that exertion is very important. So even with training, in terms of trying to build muscle, we have to have a big enough stimulus for our muscles to say, hey, okay, we need to actually grow and we need to actually repair stronger to actually grow. So
Right.
with longevity or cancer prevention, sorry, it's not the same thing, but is that the same thing? Does your body need to have that response to say, I need my cells to divide in a healthier way? I'm not really sure the science behind it.
When I first thought of doing a podcast in 2019, I wrote down everything that I wanted to achieve with the show. And one thing I never wrote down was to spam you with ads of products that I never really used myself. However, I did write down that I wanted to grow it as big as possible and have as many interesting people on the show as I could. To help make that happen, all I ask is that you leave a review on the podcast platform that you're listening to this episode on and share it with someone that you know it will benefit. If you want to support myself even further, and more importantly, your body transformation, and are interested in having me as your coach to help you achieve the results that you just can't seem to achieve on your own, you can visit teambrockashby.com to see what program fits you best.
What we think is happening here is is it's the issue of inflammation. It's the issue of really helping to serve as an antioxidant, right? We have these free radicals that our cells put out without getting overly complicated, and antioxidants help scoop them up. So to prevent, stroke, prevent a heart attack, prevent cancer. Exercise is very good in doing that. But the challenge is so many people don't know how to exercise properly. They go to the gym, they just look around, they see what someone else is doing. The guys are all huddled around the bench press and the bicep curls. And what I have to say is what I really have enjoyed about your posts, and one of the reasons why I was very excited to talk to you, is you're really a leader in helping people understand an exercise you're doing right versus an exercise you're doing wrong. Because as you pointed out, we're all limited by time. So if we're in the gym, or even if we're downstairs or in the garage and we set up gym equipment, we want to do it right. We don't want to hurt ourselves, but we want to get the benefit. And I love your videos because they're always great in showing you this is how you need to do it right. So that's an important component as well. People think they're exercising, and you probably have seen this too, and people are talking a lot to their friends. And then they're like, whew, I was here 50 minutes, but much of it was talking. And then they're wondering, wait, why aren't I having improvement? This isn't working. So that's a challenge.
Yeah, I have so much to say on that topic. So I did a podcast a few weeks ago, and I had Dr. Mike Israetel on. Actually, he's based in the States, and he was talking about this idea that he kind of coined, which is the stimulus to fatigue ratio. And that comes down to it's not a mind, boggling idea, but ultimately it's trying to get the most out of the least and trying to get the most stimulus for what you're going for and the least amount of fatigue. And that's why I'm so on top of technique, because I want people to get the most for the least, which is what you're talking about, maximizing the time that we have. And that idea helps you to, in terms of training better, then you're hitting the target muscle better. Right. And then you're getting a better response for the amount of time. And you're also accumulating less fatigue, which makes you recover better, which also can help you perform better cognitively at your work, or, as a husband or as a wife. And that's kind of why I'm, on top of that. And I create these videos because I want people to get the most out of it. Because as I've actually become busier as a person, when I was a young single personal trainer doing whatever I want, time was just, falling out of my pockets. And now I feel like I don't even have pockets to find the time. I really have to make the most and squeeze the juice out of every single day.